Hi there. Hey, recently we published a poll on our YouTube channel asking people what the best color for a shingle is. Turns out that people's favorite color was really a surprise because our own customers rarely ever select that color. But stick around because later in the video, I'm going to tell you what our viewers' favorite shingle color is. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to choose a shingle color that you will love. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you a tool that you and your roofer can use that enables you to digitally change the color of the shingles on your own house and see what that's going to look like. But let's jump into how to choose a shingle color. Now, obviously, the first thing to consider is the color of your own house. Now, it's my personal opinion that your roof should provide some contrast with the color of your house, yet also be complementary. And what I mean by that is if your house is a light color, then consider a dark color for your roof. On the other hand, if your house is a dark color, consider getting a shingle that's lighter than your house. Again, my personal opinion is that if you have a darker colored house, you don't want to go extreme with how light your shingle color is. Just make the difference subtle. However, if your house is light colored, then it really doesn't matter if there's an extreme difference in the contrast between your house siding and your roof color. For example, if your house is white, then a black roof could look really good. But if your house is a darker gray or a dark brown, a very light gray roof probably is not going to look very good. The next thing would be to consider the color scheme of your house siding or paint. And unless you want to choose a black shingle, most shingles have different colored highlights in them. Oftentimes, these highlights are going to complement your house color really well. For example, many of the shingle manufacturers make a gray shingle that has highlights of blue granules in it. Now that can look really good on a house that's light blue or even light green, or if your trim is one of those colors. And it's also very complementary if you have a house that's light yellow. Brown shingles are also very helpful for kind of bringing out or complementing the colors of your house, especially if your house is primarily earth tones. So if you hang around for a couple more minutes, I'm going to tell you what my recommended colors are for your house. Now, one tip that can be really helpful is for you to drive around several neighborhoods and find houses that are similar to the color of yours. And if you like the color of their roof, snap a photo. But be sure to do that discreetly so that they don't think you're stalking them. That way you can show that to your roofer, and more than likely he can make some suggestions of matching colors. One thing to keep in mind is that some shingle manufacturers make high definition or max definition versions of some of their colors. So this means that there are versions that have much stronger contrast lines and colors than their standard shingle lines. So be sure to ask your roofer about those higher definition shingles, and if you don't like that look, be sure to tell your roofer that you just want the standard shingle colors. Now earlier I told you about an app that you can use to digitally change the color of the shingles on your house. Well, this app is called Hover, and your roofer is more than likely going to be able to give you access to it. The app's going to build a 3D model of your house, and it's going to approximate all the colors of your siding and trim. Then you can scroll through the choices of shingles from many different manufacturers, click on the shingle that you want, and the app's going to display that on your house. It's an incredibly helpful tool in choosing a shingle color. And if you think that you're going to be painting your house and you want a shingle color that's going to match the new paint color, you can even change the siding and the trim color in Hover. Then you can see the whole package all together. So be sure to ask your roofer to do a 3D model of your house to send to you. In my opinion, it's the easiest and the best way to choose the right shingle color. But are you part of an HOA with covenants that govern what colors you can use for your roof? Well, then you can use Hover. You can create digital images of your house with your color selections and send that to the HOA board to get their approval. But here's something important to keep in mind about Hover and other similar apps. They're going to display every color for every shingle in their system, but not every color is available in every region. You see, because the country's divided up into regions, and every region has colors that are specific to it. So if you're using Hover to choose a color, remember that not every color may be available where you live. So it's a good idea to choose, 2 or 3 colors in case the one that you want first isn't available. Now, let's talk about sample boards for a minute. Lots of roofers are going to make sample boards available to you for you to choose a color. Now, those can be very helpful, but I would strongly recommend that if you're using the Hover app, that you choose 2 or 3 colors, like I said, and then ask your roofer to bring sample boards of those colors so you can actually see that next to your house. It's always a good idea to verify and confirm that you like the color that you've chosen by viewing a sample board before your roofer installs your roof. So there's one thing to remember about sample boards, though. In relation to the size of your roof, They're actually very small, so even looking at a sample board may not 100% represent what the shingle is going to look like on your roof. One more thought. If your roofer's giving you a brochure for the shingles, or he's giving you the website for the shingle manufacturer, don't try to choose a shingle color based on those tiny little photos in the brochure or the digital images online. There's way too much chance that the photos didn't capture the true colors very well, or your computer monitor may not be displaying the photos in their true color. Play it safe. Use Hover or ask for sample boards, or both. But guess what? Yesterday, when I was at my supplier picking up some sample boards, I saw several that didn't have actual shingles on them. They only had photo representations of the shingles. So if you're going to look at sample boards, be sure to tell your roofer to bring boards that have actual shingles on them, not just photos. So, do you want to know what color shingles I would recommend for your house? What if your house is light earth tones? Well, my go-to color is a dark brown that's got some highlights in it. My favorite is CertainTeed's Heather Blend. But black can also work sometimes too. Now, the most common shingle color is called weathered wood. This color looks pretty good on most homes and would work well on an earth tone house also. Well, what if your house is a pastel color, like light blue or light green? Then I think like a dark gray shingle with some highlights is going to look great. Well, if your house has some red brick accents, or the house is a warm cream tone or a darker shade of tan, then something with a combination of brown and red looks really good. I happen to really like CertainTeed's Burnt Sienna. Well, what if you have a light gray house? Well, you can't miss with a black shingle. The one that I showed you before, Heather Blend, also works. Well, did I miss your house? Well, leave a comment below and let me know what color your house is, and I'll be happy to give you some recommendations. Now you know my recommendations, but are you curious to know what our YouTube audience thinks the best shingle color is? Well, get ready. Only 9% of them thought dark brown is the best color. 14% thought light brown was the best. For 18% of those who responded, the weathered wood color was the best. Well, that's really interesting because across America, it's by far the most common color that's installed. Well, the color that 59% of our audience likes the best? Black. Black. Now, that was really quite a surprise because hardly any of our customers ever ask for a black shingle. But what's your favorite color for shingles? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, thanks for watching the whole video. That must mean you liked it. Well, then I'm positive that you're going to like this video too. Oh, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified every time we have a new video.